Welcome to Invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As the current time of 3:23 p.m. on the Eastern Time, Ethereum country $3,294. That's about close to 3% so far. Respect to over crypto market and the equity market, you see clearly we are sliding down on the last day of Q1. Seems like we are ending on a relatively negative notes. If you compare that historically, obviously we had a recent rally, but if you look at the percentage on the net perspective for Q1, we are definitely underperforming historically. And what's driving today's sell-off? And there's a couple of different reasons, right? So the main one is coming out from the Labor Department of the United States. It seems like with respect to the statistics that came out on the core personal consumption expenditure price index has increased by 5.4% from a year ago. And this is the largest inflationary increase in nearly 40 years. Right? In addition to that, some other additional elements around the jobless claims, it also edges higher last week to 202,000, which is way above the estimates compared to Wall Street expectation. So all of these numbers are relatively negative, indicating that we're still pointing towards an inflationary environment. And what's the remedy that the Fed needs to do, right? Interest hikes would be the remedy for it, right? So when you hear words around inflationary pressure to remedy that with the interest hikes, obviously the bonds or the debt instruments that corporate companies need to incur will simultaneously be more expensive, which will subsequently squeeze into the profit margins that companies will have, right? So this is a seismic negative affectation that affects the overall market, not just specifically for crypto, not just specifically for stocks, but overall financial market, right? Because everybody's going to have to pay more interest payments for the same debt instruments that they had in the past, right? So think of this like if you borrow money from the bank from a mortgage, it's going to be more expensive for you to borrow the same amount of money. So it's the same thing for corporate companies as well, right? So that's one, relatively not a positive one. So it's definitely negative, and I do. We are kind of treasuring water, just taking more of a reactionary type of perspective on how we can fix this inflationary pressure. And the interest hikes will be, one of the remedy for it. In addition to that, there are still some lingering factor around the Ukraine-Russian war and the COVID affectation that's still kind of on a secondary factor, right? Driving all of the stir. And also because of the fact that we run up so fast, so strong for, the last, I would say 15 days so far, taking us, some breather would be important, right? Because this is too fast, too quick. And, we have already hit an AVAX multiple times. But every single time we got kind of canceled out, and I'm talking about for Ethereum specifically around like the 3,500, we could never get there, right? So naturally, the next level will be gliding it down to the 3,350, which we also broke. And you can see that the apex was already formed. At the same time, we are curving down on the RSI right now. So the momentum is cooling down. So based on the current setup right now, coming down to a 3158, all the way to somewhere around like the 2950 to 2850 would be good level to DCA from here based on the current setup. And what we need to do right now is basically form a def cross down on the MACD, and then cross up from there. And I think the leap down would be somewhere around like 3158 all the way to 2950 again, right? And then scoop back up, and that will allow us to continue the buying pressure from here. So for Bitcoin, it's selling down even further. You can see that we're cooling off. We formed the apex already. At the same time, we are dipping down at the 60 out of 70. So this is logical. Again, this is not me predicting the future. This is just technical speaking the truth. I know people were, objecting what I was saying. They're like, oh no, it's going to keep surging. It's going to keep surging. But technicals doesn't really lie to us. And you could say that, oh man, Maurice, like you told us like that, we could, it's going to reach a certain level, which it did, but in terms of your decision on when to take profit, that's up to your risk aversion, right? You could stretch it further, right? You could expect that the RSI can keep going up to like the 90 out of 70, but is that a logical way of risk management? I would say that's not, right? I would say that with respect to current level, around like the high 60s to 70s is a good level to start taking profit, right? And I think a lot of people that are on Patreon have been following, and also some of my friends have been asking me or taking the right logical moves, right? So I think the next level for Bitcoin to come down would be 44, would be the first level support, all the way down to somewhere around like the 42 to 40, right? So these are frames that I will be DCAing at, right? Dogecoin at 1386 right now. I like anywhere from basically 1166 all the way to 1066 that I will be DCAing at. Cardano is now about 3.5%. I like anywhere from basically 86, 85 all the way to 74 cents from here. Solana is still surging. With the 76 out of 70, very overbought. At one point today, we got all the way to 130, but that's a flat number. That's not real, so that's why we got canceled. At the same time, you could see that we got canceled here before. So right now, the momentum is still strong on both fronts, on MACD and RSI. So we could technically keep surging, but do you want to stretch your luck, right? Ultimately, with the 76 out of 70, it's very overbought right now. XRP is down about 6% right now. Wow, this is a mega red candle. We bounced from 78 exactly, and this is not me, this is not magic. This is technical speaking the truth. But XRP is going to sell off even more because of the death cross with form so far, and we're basically falling off the cliff right now. So this is terrible momentum. I think coming down to like the 60 to 57 will be very logical. Polkadot's about 4%. Again, right, anywhere from 16 all the way to 1406 from here at the 60 out of 70. We're about to form a death cross as well, so sell-off is imminent. Algorand's now about 1.18%. 75 to 67 from here with the 62 out of 70. Shiba Inu is down about 6% so far. I like anywhere from basically, again, right, low 2000s. So 2100, 1400 to 900 from here with the... the momentum has shifted very fast. You can see how fast we've sold off from here, right? So that means the momentum's going to leap down further. Polygon's down about 3%. 142 to 120. You can see the momentum's all shifting already, all downwards. AVAX gave up at 100. Makes sense, because that was the next logical momentum. From previous days, obviously, but it quickly gave up, and now we're at the 95 right now. So right now we're at 95 because it's just kind of a previous level of consolidated prior as a little peak. But is it sustainable? I would say no. I think right now coming back down to, like, I would be DCing at 60 to 50 from here. Terra hit to 110. The reason we got 110 is because that's the next level as we form that golden cross. So we got about to form a death cross all over again, and you can see the momentum have shifted already. So coming down to 62, 52 to 45 would be where I'll be DCing it. All right. And then look at Tesla, just to look at it real quick. I think the apex was already formed. You can see that we are already forming a curvature. We have formed several different resistance on top when we're at the 70 out of 70. So Tesla is going to be in for a negative sell-off. Quite disgusting, actually. You have to fill this gap. So it will be about like a $70 of a leap down from here. But you see that that's not really substantive. I think the next level of support that's real is somewhere around 900. So it's going to be about $100 sell-off from here. So that's quite disgusting. NEO, I'm also looking at this real quick. This is a inverse head and shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. So inverse head and shoulder means that there will be more pump coming. So I think NEO is a good sleeping giant at the moment, or sleeping mini giant, if you may. So yeah. So appreciate you for hopping on a meeting today. Sorry for a little bit late. Again, I had an early meeting. I actually went out to the city at like 6 o'clock in the morning, so I didn't even have time to actually get on a camera to talk to you guys. But hopefully this is helpful. This makes up for what we missed out today. But today would it be a buying opportunity today? I don't think so. Not yet. I think we are going to see more negativity coming, knowing the fact that the momentum have already shifted downwards quite sharply across the market. So definitely be careful. But it is a part of the game, right? Volatility. So appreciate you. Have a good day and take care. Bye.